Chapter 1, the economic problem. So go down. The economic problem is scarcity. The basic economic problem is scarcity. And when we talk about scarcity, we're talking about finite resources and unlimited wants. Finite resources and unlimited wants gives us what? Scarcity. So what are finite resources? These are resources that are limited in supply. Finite resources are resources that are limited in supply. So we call them finite resources or limited resources. Limited resources. And unlimited ones or infinite ones. Or infinite ones. So these two will give us scarcity. I think that is clear. So what is finite resources? These are resources that are limited in supply, like the factors of production, like land, labor, capital, enterprise. They are not always enough. That's why we call them limited resources. They are not always enough. We don't have enough land. We don't have enough enterprises. We don't have enough raw materials. We don't have enough capital. So because all these things are scarce, and because they are not enough, that brings about scarcity. Is it clear? Okay. Then go to unlimited ones. For unlimited ones, here we're talking about our basic needs and the wants. So unlimited wants is distinguished between the needs and wants itself. So for needs, we're talking about resources that our living depends on. Without these things, we cannot live, we cannot survive. That's why we call it needs. Are you with me? So these are basic requirements for human survival, like food, clothing, shelter. Without water, without these things, we cannot survive. That's needs. I think that is clear. Okay. Then we have wants. These are human desires. These things we can live without them, like holiday in Bahamas, diamond ring, gold, a bigger house, a flamboyant car, exotic car. We can live without these things. So they are called human wants. Wants. I think it's clear. Things that we can live without, they are wants. But things we cannot live without, they are needs. I think it's clear. Then we go to the activity, the case called the need and wants. So are you there? Yes. So for the first image, they said, how might the two images in this figure illustrate the difference between needs and wants? I wrote, the first image shows that the family sees food as a basic need. So the first image with those children are sitting on the ground, food is a basic need for them. Yes. So without it, they cannot survive. Do you get it? And the second image shows that the family will think about wants as they can afford basic needs. So they can afford basic needs. So the thing they think about is wants. Do you understand? Is it clear? Is it clear, please? Now, the second question says, why are resources finite? Question 2, resources are finite. That means limited. Resources are finite because the population continues to increase. Population continue to increase. Did you get it? And the users of these resources will have to fight for the use of the resources. Is it clear? So move on. Now the economic problem. Are you there? So the basic economic problem. So when we talk about basic economic problem, we're talking about resource allocation between nations, how they are not always enough when it comes to allocation of resources. They are resources, but when we have to allocate them, they are not always enough because some will need it, some might not need it. What you need it for might not be what I need it for. So everybody has what they need resources for. Do you get the point I'm making here? Exactly. So when you talk about basic economic problem, we're talking about how scarce resources has to be used between us. The resources are scarce, right? Yes. So because they are scarce, the problem is about how do we use them? How do we allocate them? That is the basic economic problem. Do you get it? Yes. So the basic economic problem is about how resources should be allocated. I think that is clear, right? Yes. Good. So what are the questions? What are the problems that we have when it comes to allocating resources? They are the economic questions, which are what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce to. Because there's scarcity, we need to allocate resources. Then how do we allocate these resources? This brings about the economic questions of what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce to. Do you get it? Yes. So we start with what to produce. So we're talking about what to produce. That means we're talking about, this applies to the kind of products that the economy will produce due to limited resources. So what can this economy produce? We don't have much resources, right? There's scarcity of resources. So what can we produce with these limited resources? That is what to produce. Do you get what to produce here? How to produce. Now that we've decided on what to produce, how are we going to get it produced? Do we need equipment? Do we need machinery? Do we have to produce it in China? Do we have to produce it in Libya? Do we have to produce it in America? How do we produce it? The process of production. We've decided on what to produce, which is maybe pens. Pen. Now I want to produce pen. How are we going to be able to produce pen? Are we producing it locally or internationally? Do you understand? Yes. That is how to produce. Then we have for whom to produce to. For whom to produce to is talking about the distribution channel. Who do we need to produce these things for? Who needs these things? Who are those that this thing will be beneficial for? So we want to produce pen. We know already how to produce pen. Who are those who needs this pen? So that is for whom to produce to. Is it clear? Yes. Then we go on. Yeah, so we talked about distribution. What is distribution? Sharing of things to a large group. That is distribution. That is for whom to produce to. I think it's clear. So go to opportunity cost. When we talk about opportunity cost, because resources are not always enough, as we said, resources are not what? Always enough. That means we have to decide on what to do. Yes or no?
The best that we can tell you.
Yeah, so we have to decide on the best. Yes. Do you understand? So what are we supposed to produce now? And what are we supposed to leave for the next time? That is where opportunity cost comes in. So what is opportunity cost? Opportunity cost is the cost of the next best alternative for gone. So that is the cost. That means we have to produce either a black pen or a red pen. So if you are producing a black pen, the opportunity cost is what? The red pen that is not going to be produced.
Yes.
So if you have to produce a black pen, a red pen, do you have a blue pen there? Okay, let's assume we have to produce a black pen, a red pen, and a ruler. Yes. So if we are producing the black pen, the opportunity cost is the pen, not the ruler. Yes. So the next best alternative for gun is the opportunity cost, not the third one, the next best. Yes. So if it's about the pen and the ruler, and we are producing the ruler, this is the pen that is not going to, this is the opportunity cost. So what is produced is called the real cost. Do you understand? Yes. The choice that we make is the real cost. The choice that we left behind is the opportunity cost. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. So because we have opportunity cost, there's always one choice to make. What is the choice? Deciding between the alternative uses of resources. That means you have to take decision about what we have to do. That is the choice. Is it clear? Mm-hmm. So, due to scarce resources, different economic agents have to decide on what to use the resources for. So because resources are scarce, so different economic agents have to decide on what to use their resources for due to scarcity. So we have individuals, which are economic agents, we have government, which is an economic agent, and we have producers or firms, which are economic agents. So for individuals, what do they do? What choice do they make? They decide on how to spend their budgets. Do you understand? So individuals, they have to decide on how to spend their limited budgets. The money you have is not always enough for you to buy everything. Yes or no? Yes. So you have to decide on how to spend it. That is as individual, like you, like me. Then we have producers. For producers, they have to decide on what to invest on. Because they are producers, they want to produce. So they have to decide on what to produce. That is what they have to invest on. Is it clear? For government have to decide how to spend, how to finance the public or how to spend on public resource, public production, because government will make revenue. So how do they want to spend the tax revenue? This is government decision. So if government have taxes now, if government has generated taxes on revenue on taxes, how do they want to spend? Do they want to spend it on education? They want to spend it on healthcare? They want to spend it on infrastructure? They want to spend it on whatever they want to spend it on. The government have to decide. Do you understand? So government cannot spend on everything at once. So government has to decide on what to spend on now and what to spend on the next time. So that's all about opportunity cost. Is it clear? So you have the activity now. There's a case study of Stockholm. They said in 2015, according to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, the value of global military spending was this amount. And the value, so they said, basically, here they said, this was about 2.3% of the world gross domestic product, a measure of world income. This level of spending on military goods often attracts criticism about the possible opportunity cost it incurs. In some regions, more is spent on military than on healthcare. We have it here. So basically, let me just explain it to you. This is military goods, this is healthcare. So North Africa spends more on military goods than healthcare. Eastern Europe spends on military goods than healthcare. Middle East spends on military goods than healthcare. But Western and Central Europe, they spend on healthcare than military goods. So the first question says, suggest one reason why spending on healthcare in Western and Central Europe is far higher. So the question says, suggest one reason why spending on healthcare in Western and Central Europe is far higher than on military goods compared with other regions. Regions like like Africa, like Eastern Europe, like Middle East, they spend more on military goods than healthcare, which healthcare is a merit good. So here the reason is that maybe in Western and Central Europe, there's less social unrest, like war or terrorism in Western and Central Europe. So that's why they don't spend much on military goods. They don't have any reason to spend on military goods because there's no war, there's no social unrest like war or terrorism, unlike other regions. Is it clear? Then the second question says, what is opportunity cost? Use this case as an example in your answer. So first you have to define opportunity cost, which is the next best alternative for gun. So based on this case study, so spending on military goods will mean that you won't be able to spend on merit good like healthcare. Is it clear? Yes. So go to production possibility curve. Are you there?
Yes.
We're talking about production possibility curve. We're talking about the combination of two goods that can be produced if all resources are fully utilized. The combination of two goods, which can be capital goods and consumer goods, which can be produced by a given economy if all resources are fully employed. That is production possibility. I think that is clear. So here we have a case study, we have the graph. So let me use this graph to explain to you. So based on this graph, at point A, 16 million of consumer goods will be produced. At point A, 16 million consumer goods will be produced, which means 0 capital goods will be produced at point A. Are you with me?
Yes.
Are you there with the graph? Do you understand the graph now?
Yes.
At point B, let's say 14 million. Let's say 14 million. 14 million consumer goods will be produced and 4 million capital goods will be produced at point B. Is it clear?
Yes.
At point C, I'm taking the ABC. At point C, 8 million consumer goods will be produced and 7 million capital goods will be produced. Is it clear?
Yes.
Then at point D, 8 million capital goods will be produced zero consumer goods will be produced. Is it clear? Because we're talking about combination of two goods that can be produced. Do you get it? So whenever there is a movement along the curve, along the PPC curve, it means there's opportunity cost. So if you are producing more capital goods, you will produce less consumer goods. If you are producing less consumer goods, if you are producing more consumer goods, you're producing less capital goods. So movement along this curve from A to B would mean that there's opportunity cost. Do you get it? Yes. Okay. At point F, it means that the economy is not fully utilizing its resources. That means all resources are not fully utilized. Wow. It's producing below its capacity. Its capacity is at D, either at D or A. So if you are producing at point F, it means you are not producing to your full capacity. Do you get it? At point F means that the economy is not producing to its full capacity. It can still produce more. Do you understand? That means all resources are not fully employed at point F. Is it clear? And we have the last point here, which is point E. The economy cannot produce at point E. Why? Because there's no resources to produce at that point. Do you understand? So at point E, it does not have any resources that it can use in producing at point E. Is it clear? Is the graph clear now? So they said, what happens when an economy moves from one point to another on the PPC? Movement along the PPC curve means that there is always what? An opportunity cost. Is it clear? Any questions about that? So we go to economic growth. Are you there? Yes. So when we talk about economic growth, it means that there's an increase in the output of an economy. That is what economic growth means. It means that the GDP of a country is increasing, and GDP is the output. The national income of the economy is increasing. Is it clear? So what are the causes of economic growth and economic decline? Yeah, so for economic growth, the first one is new technology. We're talking about these are the causes of improvement in the causes of economic growth. The first one is new technology. When we talk about new technology, we're talking about advancement in technology. So if there's advancement in technology, it means goods can be produced in a better way, in a faster way, because technology makes things to become faster. With technology, things become faster, yes or no? Yes. So because things can be done faster, that means technology will help to increase output in a faster rate. And also it will increase or improve, it will increase the reliability, because people will be reliable. Technology is reliable. You can trust that it will produce at a faster rate. So and when it is done at a faster rate, output will increase, GDP will increase. That's the first point. The second point, improved efficiency. When we talk about efficiency, we're talking about how production is being done, the production method. So if your production method, like you use continuous improvement or like casing, whatever production method you use that is efficient, it will allow you to produce more goods or more services with less resources. Get the point here. There's always economic growth if there's efficiency. Efficiency means you are not wasting resources. You are producing more with less resources. That would increase economic growth. Is it clear? The third point is education and training. Education and training will improve your skills and knowledge. And if your skills and knowledge will increases, productivity will increase. Economic growth will increase. Is it clear? And the last point here is about new resources. When new resources are discovered, that means the country can produce more goods or services. Yes or no? So that will also increase the economic growth. So all these things will shift your PPC curve outward from PPC 1 to PPC 2. Do you get it? Yes. So for your PPC to shift outward, you have to there has to be new technology or advancement in technology. There has to be education and training. There has to be efficiency, and there has to be new resources. Is it clear? Yes. Any question about that? So you have the multiple choice question. The first one, they said, which of the following question is associated with the basic economic problem?
Can you repeat that question?
Which of the following question is associated with the basic economic problem?
What's mean associated?
Linked.
Linked.
We have three economic problems or questions, right?
Yes.
So which one is the right one?
C.
No, it is C. What to produce. There's just like we have what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce to. So it is C. What to produce is the only one there that is right. Is it clear?
Yes.
The second question says, which of the following might be considered a need rather than a want? Shelter. Thank you. So that ends the chapter there. Do you want us to do the third case study or it doesn't need? Okay, so that ends chapter 1.